But this is one of the most flavorsome liquids in the world of cooking. Shellfish bisque. Now, shellfish bisque is purely made from shells of crabs, lobsters, prawns, and scampis. Shellfish bisque is a staple in French cooking, but you find different versions of it in Italian and different Asian cuisines. Now, shellfish bisque is actually really easy to do and it's really quick. And I will show you how to do it. Fantastic, really, it is. Have you ever noticed when you roast prawns with the shell or you roast a lobster, what an amazing smell comes off it? It's one of the best smells ever. And it has little to do with the meat. It's the shells that have that amazing aroma. It's something to do with chemistry, amino acids, umami, and a few other chemicals, and all the sort of cool sounding stuff. Chefs like to talk about it. And in a second, I will tell you about that too. But first, I want to share with you my story about Lobster Bisque. Now, I was sort of young, just 15 years old, and I started out chefing in a hotel in an Austrian ski resort. I still remember that freezing cold prep room at the back of the kitchen, and it was full of white tiles, stainless steel everywhere, and there was a bench built in with a sink, and there was a water tap running sort of really steadily, and the stand mixer in the corner running on a really slow speed. I remember that day so well, and I followed Simon, the sous chef, with really fast steps into that prep room to learn how to kill and break crabs to make lobster bisque. I mean, it was a dirty job. Simon did it in a space of a few seconds. He literally just grabbed a crab from the bucket, which was standing next to him, holding it in one hand while he pushed his thick, callous forefinger of his other hand between the body and the shell of the panicking crab. The crab freaked out. He flicks the top shell into the bowl, into the stand mix, and immediately hear that crushing noise. Next, you wash out the gills and the guts, he said, and he holds that crab under running water. He pulls out the gills and he washes away the guts, or sort of what seem to be the guts and the brain. He holds the dripping, wet, now motionless crab up in front of me and says, "That's how you do it." And he flicks that crab over, lands perfectly in the blender bowl, and immediately you hear an even bigger crushing noise. So it really intensifies. And then he walks away and he leaves me standing there with 4 buckets full of crawling crabs, all waiting for the final moment. I mean, I felt horrible. I felt like an executioner. Who am I? My name is Walter Trupp, and I used to run some of the best restaurants in the world. Now I run a cooking school, but I need to tell you, washing out the guts of the crabs makes sense, as they are never sort of great in a dish. But you also need to remove the gills. That's what Simon showed me. Crab gills are also called dead man's fingers, and they taste really bitter. The bones you need to crush so you can roast them better and create more flavor. And you have a recipe below, and then you put some butter in the pan, and you need to put lots of it. I don't know why shellfish bones absorb so much fat, and then you roast them on a medium-high heat until they're really, really golden brown, and you will see straight away what amazing smell comes off them. So you roast them for approximately 15 to 20 minutes, and then you know they're ready, but just don't burn them. Then you add some vegetables, then you add some spices, and if you like a little bit of drama or you want to be really eccentric, pour some cognac in and some brandy and set it alight, flambe your bones to give them sort of a really last kick of frying or roasting before the liquid goes in. I mean, the flambeing will not really add any flavor to your bisque. It's just a massive show off. I mean, it's typically French, they love doing that. But the cognac is needed. I'm sort of more the stingy chef. I don't like to burn that thing off. I just add a shot of brandy into the pot, and instead the other shot I drink myself. So then some tomato paste, some stock. What stock? I mean, bloody good stock, of course. What? I mean, okay, something that is gelatinous. Now, I prefer chicken stock. Shellfish don't have much collagen or elastin or connective tissue as such. You mean tendons, you know, because they wear the skeleton on the outside. Like most other creatures have a skeleton on the inside. And to hold it together, they have a lot of connective tissue and tendons. Because of the lack of those gelatin-like tissues in shellfish, the stock, if you make it with water, will have very, very little body, very little depth, very little length. If you don't have that, then you use a weaker stock, or you can even use water. And then you add 4 to 5 leaves of soaked gelatin per liter to the broth. That will do the same, you know, and then you simmer it for an hour and a half. Don't cook it much longer because otherwise it can become bitter. Add the cream towards the end of cooking, and if you don't want cream, just leave it out. Strain. Then the bones go back into the pot. We're gonna make now a so-called remoulage, which means we reboil the bones. Barely cover the bones with water, bring it back to the boil and stir it and wash off all the sticky fluids and solids. Strain again, add that to the first stock, reduce to whatever consistency you like, season with salt and pepper, and for balance out the flavors, we need a little bit of acidity, and we add that in form of lemon juice. No, I've not forgotten about the whole umami connection, but I mean, I've not finished here either. So just before serving, blend the bisque, and here we go. You need to blend it really well. You need to emulsify. So good. Okay, I'm ready now. So lobster, crabs, prawns, scampi, bones, they are unique in terms of complexity of aromas. Their meats never develop those complex flavors. The shells do, because they're full of natural glutamate or MSG or umami, as well as molecules like pyrazines and thiosols. And when roasting them on a dry temperature, they multiply and multiply. The amino acids and the sugars and the glycine in the shells react with the heat, and the flavor increases. The flavor molecules increases. This only starts to happen when the shells start to brown, or sort of when you activate the Maillard reaction. Boiling does not develop those flavors to the same extent, but it's never nowhere near as good. So you need dry, high heat. Think about barbecue prawns versus boiled prawns. You get me? I mean, it's so much flavor. Hence, never throw lobster, prawns, crabs, or scampi shells away, even if they have been boiled. If you want to know more about that, check out my video on peeling prawns, so you learn the hows and the whys. And here we go. Final tip. Storing, you best freeze the bisque or shellfish stock, as they somehow, I don't know why, develop a really, really strong flavor in the fridge after 2 to 3 days. It's not going off, it just somehow becomes a bit sharp and a bit bitter. Also check out my video on Bouillabaisse, they'll learn something more about shellfish. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time. Oh, it smells great. Let's taste it. Fantastic. Really, it is. I'm not making that up. It's amazing. Oh, so good.